got a chance to see Abigail. Let's check it out right now. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone, where we talk about film and television shows and comic books and everything pop culture. Woohoo! I am your host, Frank Zank. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. And I love these cheesy movies. Well, before we get into it, remember to give me a like and a subscribe. I am trying to grow the channel out. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me as we rant about all this stuff. And if you are a budding filmmaker, or if you want to be a writer or a director or whatever, I am giving a class this weekend, so this will pretty much be the last time you can hop on board. Link is in the description below to Eventbrite, and there is a promo code where you can get $50 off. It's called Learn Film, and again, that'll be in the description below. And it'll be fun. It's a 2-day event. 3 hours per day. We're going to talk about how to write for a low budget, which is exactly what we're going to talk about with this film right here, because these guys are masters. But we'll get into that in just a second. And we'll also be talking about budgeting. I have another friend of mine coming in to talk about film financing. So even if you're doing a low budget, or if you're doing a web series, if you're doing a short, these are all things that we're going to be talking about how to do what you want to do and make it look good. All right, so let's jump right into Abigail. And as I said, these guys are masters. These guys are masters about how to do a low-budget film. And this is the same group that did Ready or Not, that then eventually got them Scream, the next Scream movie, and now this. So these guys have been on a roll. They know how to make a contained film. They're able to keep everything into a very contained area, and it all takes place basically in a mansion. Almost the entire movie, outside of like one scene in the van, one scene where there's a heist, everything else takes place in this mansion. And it's genius. Now, is the script great? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ready or Not is, in my opinion, a better film. Because you figure this out. I mean, you know exactly within the first 15 minutes between playing the trailer and the actor or the character is just telling you stuff, you know exactly what's happening. There's no real surprises to any of this. And they do try to do a few different twists, but this is a film where whatever your expectation is going in, they will meet it. So it's not a surprise. You're walking in there knowing exactly what you're going to get, and it's not like Civil War where you think you're walking into watching a Civil War and instead it's a road movie. You're walking into a vampire comedy and you're getting a vampire comedy with plenty of blood and guts and everything to that effect. It's exactly what you're looking for. So it all comes down, whether you're going to like this movie or not, it's going to come down to your taste. You know, did you like Ready or Not? Did you like the last couple of Scream movies? If you didn't, this is their hallmark, Hancock all over it. So this is how these guys make movies. They always make movies the same way. They make the movies with the same people up till now. And I have to say that I disagree with what they've done. And there's only 9 characters in this entire film. And that's the other way of doing it. So you have one location for the most part. That's 80% of the film. You have 9 actors, and 2 of which have like Giancarlo Esposito has 2 scenes. That's it. 2 scenes. Why he took that? He must have wanted to work with the director, because that's the only thing I can think of. And Matthew Good, and you know Giancarlo Esposito is from everything. I mean, Breaking Bad is probably his biggest thing, but I think he was in Once Upon a Time. I mean, he was in The Mandalorian. I mean, he's just in everything. And the Matthew Good, I don't know why he took this. He literally has one scene. That's it. One scene. and it's he's from Downton Abbey. He's from Watchmen. So it's not like he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor. Again, one scene. I really think that Melissa Barrera has the ability of becoming an action hero. I really think that she has this in her. You don't really get to see her do any real fight scenes in here, but she has the gravitas to come off like we talked about on my channel about the Red Sonja. She could play Red Sonja. She has that gravitas, her walk and everything else. They actually dressed her like what's the name of the character? Jessica. I want to say Jessica Drew, but that's not it. The one from Marvel. And literally, she had the leather jacket on, the gray pants, the black boots. Everything looked exactly the same. Sans the scarf. Everything else was there, sans the scarf. But yeah, so they made her look that way on purpose, and they actually at the end, the guy playing Dean, I guess he died because they dedicated it to him. I didn't find out how he died, but he only been acting for like 4 years. So, and he had, I don't know if this was part of the makeup. I don't think it was, but he had a big scar down his head. So I don't know if there was some kind of a surgery that happened or whatever. But it's funny because also Dan Stevens, who plays the main character in here, I would say that him and Melissa Barrera are both main actors in this. I had just seen him in Kong. He was just in Kong. He was also in Downton Abbey. But it's funny that he's basically has 2 movies in the theater literally right now. That's pretty good, man. Alicia Ware, she plays actual Abigail. She hasn't done much. She was in Matilda. She must have had a blast playing this piece. She just did a really good job. William Catlett, I've never seen him before. Kevin Durand, he was played the Blob in Wolverine. He was also in the other vampire show about the blood, Strain. He was also in Strain. He was great in that. That was probably the best role I've seen him in. But here he just plays the dumb heavy, and it's almost like a Drax type of character, and he does it very well. And Catherine Newton, of course, everybody knows her from our favorite Ant-Man movie, Quantumania. But it's funny because she's now played Frankenstein and vampire. And she's from Supernatural. So, yeah, I guess she's typecast at this point. So, yeah, because she just played Lisa Frankenstein, and now she's in a vampire piece. And she's from Supernatural. But this is a different role for her, too. I think she did a good job with it, where she was more restrained and playing more cutesy than in their other roles. So overall, I thought the cast did a good job. They're kidnapping, as you know from the trailer. They're doing a kidnapping, so they're using fake names, but then their real names, which they look more like their real names, are revealed, but they're still calling each other by their fake names. I thought that was very strange. So that was one of my critiques about it. It was that it was weird now that we knew everybody's real name, but they still called each other by their fake names. But overall, the Rotten Tomato score from the critics is 83% or something. That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not expect that. I expected it to be maybe 70-something. I expected it to be fresh, but not that fresh. Because I didn't think it was great. I thought it was fun. It was a fun movie. If you're going to the movies to see a fun little horror piece, a little, 10 Little Indians type of thing, it's great. But what happened with Marissa Barrera with these guys, I guess she came out in supporting Hamas and, Islam and all that stuff and against Israel and Palestine. And they cut her from Scream. Come on, man. What? She's an actress, so she opens her mouth. Big friggin' deal. So they cut her from Scream, and as soon as Jenna Ortega found out that they had cut her, what did she do? She supported her friend, and she doesn't need them. She's got enough stuff going on. She said, fine, I quit too. There's no more Scream. Stupid. Stupid. Leave the politics out of cinema. Leave it out. Nothing to do. All these opinions have nothing to do with the film you're making. Whatever, man. And of course the same thing happened on The Wire. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not. Nobody's going to not go see your film because they supported a different thing. By the time the next Scream movie comes out, everybody would. Who knows if this ceasefire even happens by that point? So, silly, just silly. So anyway, so there's no Scream with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. There's no third one. So they have to get a whole new cast now. So, which now, they have to rebuild it all from scratch again. So you probably won't see another Scream movie for a while because it has to be rebuilt from scratch. And obviously they probably did this movie before this firing happened. But just FYI, if you want to see how, low budget works. So now the budget of this film was $28 million, which is actually bigger than I thought it would be. Because it was contained, because they have a small cast, which means they, and all the effects are pretty much practical. All the blood stuff and the break of the doors, it's probably all practical. I don't even see any digital effects even happening here. So in fact, they have to be, all the actors had to be bloodied throughout the entire film. I can just imagine what that's like at lunchtime. $28 million. Okay, so $30 million. You probably had $20 million in if that, in marketing. So just say 30 plus 20 is 50. You still need to make $100 million. So you need to make $100 million to break even. Will this do that? I don't know. We'll see. But it comes down to what they paid for marketing. But so at very least, just to hit their production budget back is 60. So yeah. So we'll see how it does. But with these guys' track record, I don't see it. I don't see them not doing it. But yeah, I hope it does well. I'd love to see low budget films do well. So these big studio tent poles can stop doing what they're doing and trying to bust these major $300 million budgets. And again, I keep telling everybody the time for low budget film is now. This is the time. So because with the strikes, whatever's in post right now, as soon as that ends, they're going to start drying up, which is why the movie theaters are worried. Because everything that's popping out right now was already in post. They already shot it. So if whatever low budget film is coming down the pipe right now, those are going to get the spots in the theaters because the major studios are not going to have it. So this was put out by Universal. And it's again, I hope it does well. And again, you'll like it if you like those other movies. And if you don't like those other movies, you're not going to like this movie. So it's just a fun little film. Don't take it seriously. There's no big plot behind it or anything to that effect. It follows these characters. Do you get your final girl? Do you not? Is the guy that you hate in this thing or just annoyed by, is he the first one that gets killed? All that stuff. Who lives, who doesn't? It's a crapshoot. I'm not going to tell you. But I enjoyed it. Do I think it's an 8? No. Would I watch it again? Probably. Yeah. So it's more of like a 7.5 for me because I will watch it again. And you know when I get down to 6.5 or even 7s, I don't. It's not a movie I would watch again. But 7.5 is probably where I'm at with it. It's not as good as an 8. But it was fun. It was entertaining. I walked out of there feeling like I got what I paid for. And that's really what's important. All right, so I hope you guys go out and see it. I hope you guys support indie film, even though it's a studio film. And I hope these guys do more, and I hope they get their heads out of their ass and don't fire people based on their friggin' whatever they're supporting at the moment, especially actors. They change their minds willy-nilly, man. Whatever the internet says, that's what they do. So anyway, remember that weekend I have my filmmaking course, so if you want to jump in there, again, the link in the description below. It is going to be fun and informative, and you will be able to ask me questions. And yeah, I'll give you all the information you need to sound like you know what you're talking about. So yeah, so if you can hop on there, yeah, I'd love to have you guys. I do have a few seats available. I limited it this time, so because it's my first time out, so I didn't want too many people. And yeah, remember to give me a like and subscribe. Help me grow the channel out if you like hearing about movies and television and comic books. And also, if you're into card games, Mark Spears, who does cover art for Marvel, DC, etc., Spawn, and that kind of stuff, we are doing a card game based on his classic monster art. This is an expansion for Wizard of Oz. So it's going to be lots of fun. You're going to be able to play as Batman, Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Creature from the Deep. We can't say Black Lagoon. And yeah, the Wicked Witch, Dorothy, you name it. You're going to be able to play as those characters, and you're going to be able to send out your minions and all this stuff. It's going to be lots of fun. Anyway, we're play testing that right now, and I'm hoping to launch sometime in May. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos as well, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.